the raw rant on the painful realizations of making, $100,000 plus a month in income. And I started my entrepreneurial journey 18, dropped out of college, drove back in my Volvo S60, which was a called 24-hour drive from Azusa Pacific school in Azusa, California, back to Seattle, where I was born and raised. I now live in San Diego. And the summer before, I'm sure a lot of you guys like who are on YouTube who are looking at all this entrepreneurial forex stock trading, real estate, all this crap you get fed, are walking a similar path, right? Where your friends are telling you you're crazy for wanting to run your own thing. You have dreams of a life that you control, your time that you control, and it's all possible. But this is the raw, truthful rant of things that have kicked me in the behind getting here. And dropping out of college, driving home, and I remember night after night, I would be sitting up at my parents' house where I moved back in from college. I was 18, 19. I just gotten my broker's license, which I never even did a residential real estate deal. I sucked. Um, and I, uh, every night, I remember sitting there. I remember reading all the Tim Ferriss books. I remember watching all the podcasts and trying to find anything to make money. I was coaching basketball kids. I was training basketball kids. I mean, trying to just find any way to make a little bit of money. Stuck in my parents' house, wondering if I was going to be the bum that lived there forever in the basement. And all my friends were out partying at college, having fun. And I'm sure you can relate to this. I think it's a prevalent thing a lot of people go through, guys, when they drop out of school, especially. And for me, um, I just had this internal burning, this internal feeling that I could create the life of my dreams, that I could create all the kind of financial freedom that I wanted by giving it a shot. And in my opinion, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, whatever that is, when you take a chance on yourself and you bet and you go all in and you trust your gut, good things start to happen and to align. And since 18, I've never had a job. I'm 25 now, turned 26 in May, and I've never had a job. I've been able to create a life beyond my wildest imaginations, flown on private jets, had the cars, had the boat, wife, house, a lot of the things that I dreamed of. And the first painful realization you realize on that road of 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month to 100 grand a month to now have companies that do well over $5 million a year in revenue that pay me a lot of money is you understand in a hardcore way that the things that you think are going to make you happy aren't like, and that's cliche, but a lot of the things that I'd be like, oh, that's going to make me happy. Now that I have it, you still run into the same roadblock. So if you guys watching this, you know, you watching all your friends work a W-2, you go, man, that's miserable. That's painful. I don't want to work a W-2. The reality is, if you want to skip working W-2 and you want to run your own business, that is freaking awesome. That's freaking amazing. But you're not better than anyone, and it's not going to feel better, right? That new car that say you do make $1 million trading crypto and you're 20. That Ferrari you buy 12 days later is going to feel like a normal car. 2 months later is going to feel like a normal car. That watch you buy 3 months later, you're not going to care about it. You're barely going to wear it. That house you buy, that condo you buy, it's all going to wear off so quickly. And so the number one rule I can ask you to implement for yourself if you are brand new to the game, hustling, just out of college, you're trying that first business, you're trading stocks, you're trading crypto, you're making some money, is ask yourself two questions. Everyone goes through a douchebag phase of buying stuff and flashy, all that kind of stuff. I've been there myself. But ask yourself two questions for me. Ask yourself, if I could never tell or show anyone that I had this, would I buy it? And if I could never post this online, would I buy this? And if you can answer yes to both of this, buy it. If you have the money, buy it. The reality is 90% of what you buy, it's like a young douchey guy. And everyone has that. I'm not judging you. I've been through the phase. I think it's an important phase to go through. But once you go through that phase and you realize what I'm telling you right now, which is one of the hard, painful realizations of growing to $100,000 a month, you're quickly going to realize, like, if you can't answer both those yes, eventually that item's going to have downside because every single thing you buy takes up bandwidth. I bought a boat. That boat takes up bandwidth. Like right now, the boat's in the shop because the jet engines are having some issues. That's a bill. That takes bandwidth. I'm coordinating logistics, getting the boat out of the water, getting the boat to the shop, on the trailer, off the trailer. Takes bandwidth, takes logistics, even though we have a lot of people that work for us that help, assistants and that kind of stuff. Okay. If you have two houses, that takes up more bandwidth. So people, you underestimate like how much every single thing that you purchase takes mental space from. That's why you look at guys like Mark Zuckerberg, like Elon Musk, and you're like, why are they wearing the same T-shirt and jeans every day? Why are they driving the same car that dude worth 100 grand is and they're worth 10 billion. It's because they are trying to eliminate any friction against their mental bandwidth. So one of the first painful realizations, and I'm going to highlight these for you guys. One of the first painful realizations that you have to realize going through all of this is that truthfully, okay, after 10, 12, 15 days, whatever you think you want is going to wear off. It's going to move on. That thing's not going to make you happy. And then two, you have to realize you have to protect your mental bandwidth, because more money, a lot of times people just equals more things. More things equals less bandwidth. And so it's actually, in my opinion, I'd rather have few things that I love versus a ton of things that I'd want just because they're flashy, because it gives me so much of my bandwidth back, right? Like once I find a pair of shoes I like, I usually wear that same pair of shoes. I just get new pairs. Once I find a brand of jeans I like, I usually just wear that same pair of jeans. Once I find a type of shirt I like, I usually just have every color, right? Because the reality is you want to eliminate all frictions against mental bandwidth, because once you get to 100 grand, you want to go to $1 million a month, you have to have an insane amount of time spent on high leverage activities. Okay. That was the second realization. The third realization that's super painful is realizing hustle and being busy doesn't equate to anything meaningful, right? Like we all know coal miners that work 20 hours a day in coal mines, risking their lives to mine coal, work a lot harder than any of us, work a lot freaking harder than any of us. That's just a fact. That's just the reality of the situation. There's no disputing that. But if you're a knowledge-based worker, if you're freaking doing the trading stocks, the trading Forex, the crypto, the real estate, the e-commerce, all those things that are out there that get shoved down your throat if you're young and watching this, the reality is that working insane hours, it doesn't automatically equal success or anywhere close to that. You guys have to not only work hard, you have to work smart. You have to work very intelligent, meaning, you have to focus on what actually moves the needle, because we're trained from when we're at kindergarten. We're trained from when we're in preschool to listen to a bell, show up a place on time, leave a place on time, and write and work and process and we're graded on production. And in the real world, you are not graded on your input, you're graded on your output. And the really wealthy people on this planet, the quicker they figure out leverage, the more money they make and the longer career they have. So if you're 19, 20, 21, 30 listening to this, I don't care how old you are, you're starting your entrepreneurial journey, whatever you're doing. For me, that was wholesaling real estate, that was building call centers. But for you, I don't know what that's going to be. But whatever that thing that you are focused on is understanding leverage, right? Think about like crypto trading, right? Leverage is you trade 1-for-1, meaning, you buy a Bitcoin, it goes up in price, you sell a Bitcoin, and your margin is the difference of what Bitcoin was when you bought it and when you sold it. Leverage trading is you might have 10-to-1 leverage, meaning you buy Bitcoin, you risk way more money, but your leverage is higher. You're leveraging other people's money. So if you win your trade, you make a lot more money. And leverage is risky in scenarios like that, because to me, crypto trading, stock trading, a lot of times can be gambling if you're not in it for the macro long term. But the reality is, you want that same mindset taken to business, right? How do you get leverage in business? You get leverage through the 3 C's, right? Capital, okay? Capital is the first way you get leverage, okay? You get leverage through people, you get leverage through systems, you get leverage through content, okay? So really the 3 C's are capital, content, collaboration. Capital being money, content being things like this that you create one time that exist in the ether forever. Collaboration being people, leadership, teams, processes, building an organization. Okay, those are the 3 things you have to focus on if you're young to get leverage. The sooner you learn these things, the sooner you will push that 100K a month, right? Because 10 grand a month is awesome, 50 grand a month is awesome, but to push to big boy numbers and start pushing real revenue, real profit, and real income, you have to be able to understand those 3 C's. Can you create content, not just content for social media, but content for your team to learn from? Can you create collaboration? Can you train people, hire, delegate? Are you a good manager? Are you someone that's worth working for? You can have the best ideas on earth, but if no one buys into your vision and wants to work for you, sorry, you're not going to get to an insane amount of scale. Okay, and capital. Do you have a good reputation? Will other people lend you capital? How can you amplify your capital to accelerate and bring your dreams closer to you? Right? I was very anti-capital, anti going out and getting capital to accelerate. But once you have confidence, you will get there. So those are the 3 C's. The quicker you can learn the 3 C's as you're starting your business, the quicker you will get to wherever you want to go. If you guys listen to this is raw, uncut. I didn't have any idea of exactly what I was going to talk about going into this, but I wanted to give you guys some raw thoughts on that journey to 100K a month, not just in revenue, but in income, right? Real bottom line, because that's what matters. And that's the hardest truth you'll learn, is that scale and numbers are flashy, but they don't mean SHIT, right? They don't mean anything, right? You can make $10 million a month, but the reality is if your business runs on a 0.001 profit margin, who cares? You can be doing $2 million a month in e-com, but if you make a 0.005 profit margin, who cares? You can do all the stock trading and the crypto, but if you keep nothing, who cares? If you never realize or take profit, who cares? So focus again, if you're 19, 20, 21, 25, embarking on a journey, your first business, you're building, you're stacking, you're making your first big checks, your first big months, understand that it's not about the top line, it is about your bottom line. What's the net margin of your business, of what you're doing, and how do you increase that? Because scale means more profit. Scale does not mean more revenue. Okay, unless you're trying to start a crazy unicorn software startup and you're trying to raise a ton of venture capital and you're going to lose money, but it doesn't matter because it's the multiple, it's the recurring revenue. Awesome. But for most of us, you guys, who are not going to go raise unicorn companies, we're not going to build the WeWork, we're not going to build the next iPhone, we're not going to build the next, Nike, we're not going to build the next, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Most of us aren't. That's the reality of it. Most of us aren't, and that's fine because the money is made in the boring businesses, the real estate. The money is made in the boring businesses, right? The money is made in blue collar businesses, HVAC, plumbing, solar. The money is made where people don't want to spend time because it's not sexy, it's not flashy. And Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all this stuff is destroying you guys. It's freaking destroying you guys because you're so focused on the flashy and showing the girl and showing the friend because you have insecurity and ego issues around money and being appreciated just for things. And the reality is, guys, that'll get old quickly. Once you get 23, 24, 25, you'll go, holy crap, I spent 300 grand since I was 19 on what? And so really and I've been through this. This is all from experience. So raw, uncut, guys, these are things, please take into account as you guys grow to 50, 100 grand and beyond and whatever you are doing.